I represent Eric Greitens, and I want to talk to you today about this affidavit that was filed in the Missouri court, as well as some of the reaction to it. So, Eric and Sheena Greitens got divorced back in 2020. Anytime that two people get divorced, it's an extraordinarily emotional experience. For attorneys, we have special ethical rules that prevent us from doing certain things so that we don't take advantage of people when they are in that particularly vulnerable state. What happened here is that political operatives took advantage of a woman who was going through an emotional divorce. Everything in this affidavit predates the divorce. All the allegations in here are from before the judge signed the divorce, at which time she signed an affidavit stating that there were no other material facts. Now, from a common sense perspective, when you're going through a divorce, that is the main event. If you have information like this, you use it then. You use it when you're fighting over custody, when you're fighting over the division of assets. You don't save it 2 years later to use in some ancillary proceeding to transfer jurisdiction from Missouri to Texas. The application that was filed to transfer jurisdiction doesn't require any of the allegations in this document. They're not relevant. They were filed solely for the purpose of having a statement in a court record that can be used for political purposes. Karl Rove has admitted that he spoke with Sheena Greitens about this. Karl Rove has called donors before this was filed to tell them back away from Eric Greitens. One of the unfortunate things that we've seen over the past few years is the weaponization of the court system by people to push political agendas. In this case, that is extended to the family court, which is disgusting. You may not like Eric Greitens' policies. Go ahead and debate him on that. You may not like the events that led to his resignation from the governorship. Go ahead and debate him on that. Don't drag his kids into a courtroom, a family courtroom, and put them through this. Now, what they've done is they've put Sheena Greitens at risk. They put her in jeopardy because she signed under oath a document that is simply not true. This document is full of lies. It could be considered perjury. If Eric wanted to, he could try and push for perjury charges, criminal charges against her, carrying jail time. He's not going to do that. He could use this in the family court to try and gain full custody. He's not going to do that. Why? Because in the family court, what is paramount is the best interest of the children. And what is in the best interest of these children is to have both of their parents in their lives. And so that's what he's going to do. Now, the people who put her up to this, on the other hand, that is something that we need to find out more about. And that's why Missouri Council filed for subpoenas. The intent is for these subpoenas to go out to the cell phone providers to get the cell phone records for Sheena Greitens, to get the cell phone records for Karl Rove, for Austin, the former campaign manager who's working with her, for her sister who works for McConnell's guys, to get those records to show what happened to bring us to this point. I want to read you something from her affidavit. She writes in here, "Now that Eric is a candidate for federal office, the public interest in my life, my relationship with Eric and the breakdown thereof, and the existence of issues of custody between Eric and me is rekindled and brought back into the central public discussion in the state of Missouri, heightening the risk that our young children will be exposed to painful and age-inappropriate information about the dissolution of their parents' marriage during Eric's campaign." None of this was anything that you were reporting on before she put it out there. If her concern is about her kids, if her concern is about the kids finding out this information, then why would you put it in a family court filing and then pass it to the press, but for the fact that this was done for political purposes. And with that, I'll take any questions you have.
Abuse victims often delay, reporting their abuse. I mean, it's not uncommon at all, as I'm sure you know. So are you discounting the possibility that she was afraid or thought no one would believe her, or like many abuse victims do, that maybe she came to this point after some time?
Absolutely. When you look at these allegations, these are not the types of allegations that that she would be holding back, considering everything that she was bringing out during the divorce. She was represented by competent counsel at the time. There's no reason why this wasn't brought out at the time. There's no reason why she would then go ahead and allow, through the mediator, for there to be the joint custody agreement and for him to have had all of the access to the children over the past 2 years that he's had. And again, there's nothing in here alleging any wrongdoing or any misconduct during that past 2 year period of time.
Has
So no.
Eric Greitens given sworn testimony denying the allegations that have been made against him?
No, this was just filed very recently.
Will he be?
So if it's required, but the reality is this is an exhibit to a motion to transfer jurisdiction that goes totally to irrelevant subject matter.
But she's
If it
under
is
oath.
something that goes to a hearing where testimony is required, he's absolutely going to deny it. But I suspect that the judge is going to throw this out right out of hand.
What has the judge's response been to the request to seal? Or the motion to seal?
At present, that's my understanding is that's still pending. But there have been 2 prior motions that she's made to try and transfer jurisdiction, both of which were denied.
Will the hearing be open, the one in May?
It's a family court proceeding. I'm not sure about the Missouri, but most family court proceedings are closed.
What kind of evidence do you have that Rove and these other operatives are involved in this?
He admitted to it.
Yeah, but that he was
Where is he on record admitting to it?
orchestrating, the actual
He just admitted to it to John Solomon on Just the News. There was a article very recently, the Breitbart article from a few days ago, goes into people that have seen him and her together at the University of Texas in Austin, that he had this conversation with Steve Handler. So yes,
Sorry,
go ahead and ask him, because he's admitted it.
I'm just curious. Can you be clear about what you're saying he's admitting to specifically?
That he's had contact with Sheena Greitens about this.
He admitted to that.
Yes.
It was reported that it was notarized here in DC.
Yes.
Do you have any further insight into that address and why
Yes.
it was notarized in DC? If she's a resident of Texas, why was it handed here?
It was notarized at a UPS store about 2.5 blocks from the office where her sister works. She works for Mr. Cox, who's he's one of McConnell's people.
And is that the ties?
Yes.
Are
Yes,
you
that
guys
is.
gonna add Mitch McConnell to this subpoena list? Why not? If not.
We're doing subpoenas based on, when you subpoena somebody's phone records, you have to have a factual basis to do so. Based on the reporting that we have so far and Rove's admissions, we have certainly sufficient evidence to subpoena his records to establish that connection. We're not going to go on a fishing expedition and try, subpoenaing Mitch McConnell. If it goes beyond that, and here's the thing, if it goes beyond that all the way up to Mitch McConnell, quite frankly, somebody should be investigating that, but it's not a Missouri family court attorney. Okay, there are agencies out there that should be investigating that type of thing, and it's beyond the purview of what should be done in a family court case.
You mentioned that he's looking.
Just to be clear, the crux of the matter is that there are 2 competing affidavits, so they can't be true at the same time.
Correct.
Wait, so this affidavit denies that
No, this goes against her own affidavit, saying that there's no other material facts and that for them to be co-parenting is in the best interest of the children. She signed that back then, and then after meeting, after communicating with Karl Rove at the most sensitive time during a primary campaign, all of a sudden she files something that's completely counter to her own past sworn statements.
How about Austin Chambers? Why is he?
Yeah, that's a good question.
It's our understanding that he is working with Sheena Greitens on this.
Based on?
That's the information we have, and we'll see what the subpoenas come out to support that.
You don't have any evidence to support that?
That's not what I said. What I said is we have. We have information to believe that they are working together.
Okay, no details on what that information is.
At present, I'm not going to bring that out.
Are we gonna get a chance to see Sheena?
Yeah, they will be filed with the court once they are executed.
Can we get a copy of it?
Sure.
I'm sorry if you already addressed this, but are you saying that there was some sort of wrongdoing here? Like, lay out like what the case is, I guess.
Wrongdoing?
I walked
Yeah,
in late,
okay.
so if
Sorry.
you address it at the top, I'm sorry. But.
I did. Filing a false affidavit, making false claims, when put up to it by political operatives to try and gain an advantage in a campaign, is wrong. It is a crime. It is something that should be taken care of.
Why are you just asking for communication records and not testimony or other documents?
It's a multi-phase process. It's the first step of the process.
Can you lay out what the claims are that his wife is making?
She's making claims that years ago that there was abuse, that he was threatening to commit suicide, that he threatened her that if she was going to take a job at the University of Texas at Austin, that he was going to do a whole bunch of things, have the job offer revoked, have her charged with lying to federal agents, all these things. And yet, that's exactly what he agreed to in the divorce settlement. So if he's threatening her, don't take a job at UT Austin, don't take the kids to Texas, that's exactly what she did.
If I'm not mistaken, some of the allegations were not in 2018, were more recent. When something was filed, the thing with the tooth that he had to get a surgery.
Everything is from before the divorce. That particular statement is, I believe, from 2017 or 2018. So yeah, everything is pre-divorce.
I mean, Sheena Greitens says she has evidence of this. You guys aren't concerned that, she has photos or other documents or witnesses?
Not at all. Not at all.
If those do appear, you're just gonna stand by your...
You mentioned that he's looking out for the best interest of the kid. At what point does it become that the campaign or all of this political questioning surrounding this is too much and he needs to withdraw from the race for some family?
Is that what Karl Rove wants?
I don't know.
I mean, that's exactly what they did to Sean Parnell. And that is a problem here, where if you can file false affidavits to bring a fake family court case to try and hurt somebody just to get them to withdraw from a campaign, is that really the precedent we want to set?
The judge ruled in Sean Parnell's ex-wife's favor.
And it's up on appeal. It'll likely be overturned.
Why do you think this establishment effort against Greitens is happening? McConnell, Rove teaming up to do a hit job, you say?
I'm an attorney. I'm not a political strategist. Based on the evidence I've seen, it certainly seems that has happened. As to why they did it, you'd have to ask Karl Rove.
I believe in addition to the abuse allegations Sheena Greitens made, she alleged that the former governor told him that he took the photograph that was at the center of the 2018 issues he faced leading up to his resignation. Would he swear in court that he did not have that conversation?
Absolutely. Absolutely, no question.
And we would swear in court that he did not take the photograph.
Absolutely, no question. Yeah, I mean, that's something that the investigator on that case is now a convicted criminal. The prosecutor on that case has been charged by the state of Missouri with multiple ethical violations and is about to go into a hearing where she could lose her license. Yes, he denies it. Yes, he's perfectly willing to state that again and again, that he is innocent of those charges, that there is no photo. And obviously, why would a political rival want to put it in here as, claiming that he admitted it? For political purposes. It has nothing to do with moving jurisdiction from Missouri to Texas. So why would it be in here for anything other than political purposes? All right, thank you all.